Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. How's everyone going? How's everyone going? How's everyone doing? How's it going? And how's everyone doing? All right, we're back to work. We're back to our usual stuff here. Hey, Nanigans, how's it going? Welcome in anybody who's here. We're watching the VODs or whatever. This is Digital Iliad. We're working on an FTL-like made in Godot. Working on a couple of FTL-likes, including one FTL Lite, which is the focus of most of our work. We tried making a Ludum Dare game last weekend for the compo. Did not work out. I ran out of time. Not in the hard sense of, I literally ran out of time, but 2 a.m. the morning before, I saw how far we had come and how far we still had to go, and it wasn't happening. But that's on me. I underestimated the mechanical complexity of what I was trying to do. But it was fun. There was a good game in there. Maybe just not something that can be made in 48 hours from scratch. But we bounced back. We've got another game jam in 17 days. We have the solo developer number 11. Solo dev jam number 11 coming up very soon. So we never give up. We never surrender. Well, we do surrender, but we never give up. But we do give up. But you know what I mean. Yeah, we got another jam coming up, which I love this jam. This one starts at noon, which is great. Not 6 p.m. And it's 72 hours, which is even better. And I'm allowed to use pre-made assets. But I'm still only competing against other solo developers. So this is my favorite jam. I love Down to Jam. I love Ludum Dare. Solo development jam is my favorite jam. It's the most fun. It's the jams that I have the most time to actually work on gameplay, to actually get game feel and quality of life and all this stuff. Yeah, I'm most proud of my solo dev jam games. I mean, I'm proud of the things that I'm able to make from scratch jams like Ludum Dare and Down to Jam, but it's very different. It's a very different problem when you're making something entirely from scratch versus putting it together from like assets. Very different problem. Very different challenge. Shenanigans, you're good. You're making progress on the map editor. You're making a few more tile types finally, making sure your different layers work properly, and you're moving on to make things actually save and create maps. Nice, nice. I need to get working on some serialization stuff too. I'll be doing that in the background probably, because we still have our main objective. Shenanigans, retreat from the jam battle to come back and fight again and win the jam war. Yeah, the jam war is endless. Arneo, never give up, never surrender. Sometimes tactically retreat. Yeah. You live to fight another day. That's the important thing. But yeah, I'm excited for this. It's in a little over 2 weeks. We could already be voting on some themes, but I don't... It's too soon for me emotionally to be voting on jam themes. So we'll wait. But someone remind me. I don't want to miss out on voting on the jam themes. I'm very looking forward to this. This is the jam I want to win. If there's one jam that I could win, if I was only allowed to win one jam ever, I would love to win Solo Dev Jam. It's not the biggest, it's not the most prestigious, but it comes with a Discord, a little Discord icon on your username that says you're a jam winner, and I would love that. But yeah. We would have spent this week playing Ludum Dare jam games if I hadn't dropped out. So we're getting some productivity back, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't feel super productive today. I do feel like changing the radio from my little intro cinematic stuff. Do our chill vibes. Yeah, we have been working on our capsule art based around like a little Mobius bubble ship and a little like companion star background thing. This isn't done by any means. There needs to be refinement of the composition. We need to figure out different compositions, rearrange things into different compositions. In my mind, this bubble reflection is interfering with the eye and lo-fi. I want to change that. I don't know the right way to do that. Might just flip the reflections around or something. But I'm also waiting for feedback from my quote-unquote art director. Hey, Sapphire. AKA my partner, who's a real artist. She's going to send me some stuff about contrast. There's contrast issues like here. I can't really see them clearly. Need a lighter background for them. We have issues, so I don't think we're going to work on this today. It's part of the plan. Oops. Rip crosstown traffic. Our Ludum Dare 5.9 entry. Let's go back to our other vault. But this is our game plan. We make the Steam page this quarter. By the end of June. Get that thing up. Get that bad boy up there. Getting wish lists. ASAP. And next, I want to kind of work on a trailer. I'm concerned about doing this. I don't even want to think about getting a game trailer up. We might punt on this a bit. But I don't know. Q3 is a long time. That's September through September. So maybe we can make it happen. Maybe we can make it happen. It'll definitely inform the character of our work, even if we're not actually able to get the game trailer. We definitely need a game trailer up by the time we get our demo out, which I want to do by the end of the year. A little demo. A little demo that we can update. Keep going. Just a little something for GDC next year. But yeah, this is the game plan. And the big part, step one, is the Steam page. And there's a number of requirements for the coming soon, quote unquote, coming soon store presence, as they call it. Mostly around graphical assets. There's also some written stuff that we gotta workshop at some point, but we can get there when we get there. You don't think you're staying long today, sadly? No worries, Sapphire. I appreciate you stopping by. I don't know how long I'm streaming today. I'm a little disappointed, you know, having crashed out of Ludum Dare. I'm a little tired. So this might be a shorter stream. We'll see. I want to stay on target as far as what we're working on. But I haven't gotten any feedback on my capsule art, so we can't work on the capsule art. But what we could do is we could start to frame some screenshots, which you're like, Dave, what do you mean like framing screenshots? Like, we have to mock up screenshots. Because of where we're at in development, we're gray boxing everything. So our screenshots are going to be mock-ups of final screen images, you know. And I have some ideas. I said capsule-like. That's probably not the right word. I need to come up with a different description for this because our capsule changed a lot. Our capsule originally was a shot of the pilot. Bart Lane subscribing at tier 1. Subscribe for 24 months. Thank you, Bart Lane. Really appreciate that. That means a lot to me. Arneo, progress update for you for today. Job application progress. Ooh. Job application progress +2. Game progress +3. Sleep schedule progress -1. Okay. I was like, how are you going to pay for all this? How are you going to pay for all this progress, Arneo? That's great. Job application. Hope you have some nice prospects. Shenanigans, you think it would be best to make your trailer when you're close to having your vertical slice done, mostly just focusing on bugs and polish? Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I just put that in an order. I needed a filler somewhere between You know, the Steam page and the demo, because there's no way we're gonna do a demo in Q3. But this might actually just be a lens through which to see the work we're doing. The game trailer, also, people overblow what a game trailer is. And a game trailer on Steam is like a minute or less of gameplay. That is like maybe like a minute. Some people do a little more, but I think you need like a minute of gameplay, and that's it. Like, you cut between a few different scenes that give you an idea of what's happening. You don't include any kind of story BS, cinematics, splash screens. You don't do any of that. You just like, here's the game. Here's what it looks like to play the game. And so I don't think this is a super unrealistic goal, in that before we have a playable demo, it makes sense that we might be able to have unplayable little scripted events play out that we can use for a trailer. Like little scenarios and stuff. So I don't think it's a crazy idea. I think it's definitely aggressive. But yeah, certainly by the time we put a demo out, we want a trailer, even a little trailer. It's fine. I think people are over concerned about misleading people on Steam with their game. I think that is a non-factor. Hey Jacob, how's it going? How are you doing post jam? Oh no, you didn't do the jam. You're working on your game. How are you doing? Yeah, I think people are overly concerned about misleading someone before their game is out. I think the time that you have to be really worried about making promises to people is in early access. I think if you're in early access, maybe the demo. I think the demo maybe a little, but I think it's early access that gets people. Like, Slay the Spire 2 is getting downvoted because they're making changes in early access, right? Like, people are furious that their infinite combos don't work anymore in early access. But I think before the game is out there and playable, I don't think you can mislead Steam players, really. That's just my opinion. I'm sure someone has a Reddit post that disagrees. Jacob, you didn't jam. You're dorking around with a diff jam, though. Yeah, I thought you mentioned me some kind of jam. You just got it so if you leave food cooking on the stove sets on fire. Oh, nice. Yeah, you got like an overcooked thing going. That's fun. That's fun. How are you feeling? You were looking for you on Sunday. You saw the Discord. Yeah, it was 2 a.m. on Sunday, and I was like, I realized that the mechanical part of the game that I wanted to set up that I thought I could do in like 6 to 8 hours was going to take like 24 hours. And I was like, I don't have that kind of time. And I think I started to get the mechanical stuff together, but then I looked at how much time I had left to do the rest of the art and the sound, all of the sound and everything. And I was just like, this isn't happening. So I just went to sleep. And that's what happens. I don't know if you can make a game in 48 hours from scratch. I don't know if I can make a game in 48 hours from scratch. If I had not already... Yeah, Jacob, you're like, I don't think I could do a 48-hour jam. Yeah, if I hadn't already done a Ludum Dare compo, I would swear it's impossible. But I did it once, and I will do it again. And we will be back, at least for Ludum Dare 61, which will mark... I think it marks 25 years of Ludum Dare, is next April. April of 2027. So... I will finish that one. I will do whatever it takes. I will spend the PTO. I will do what it takes to beat that one. But yeah, it sucks. But we have another game jam in less than 3 weeks. We have another game jam in 2.5 weeks. We're going to do the solo dev jam number 11. My favorite. My unapologetically favorite jam. Solo dev jam. This is the one I really want to win. This is the only one I want to win. Only one I care about, really. It's the solo dev jam. I don't know why. I'm kind of a weirdo. But this is the one I get really worked up about, and this will be good. And it's 72 hours, and I can use assets, and it's only solo developers, and there's no AI generated stuff. There was a surprisingly large number of people posting in Ludum Dare about it was very pro AI, which is concerning. I did not like to see that. I feel like that's going to become a big problem in game jams in following years. I don't know if the Ludum Dare jam, I can't, it's so hard to figure out anything related to Ludum Dare because everything's written in 2 different locations and has 2 different versions of everything. I'm like, which version of the rules did you look at? It's like, I don't know. I don't want to get into that. I don't want to get into Ludum Dare's management and or mismanagement, but I'm very excited about Solo Dev Jam. That's our big tentpole jam. That's like when we made The Grave Escape, when we made Mini Delivery. That's when we make like good games. Not just cute little toys, but that's like when we make... I wouldn't say Mini Delivery is a good game. I also wouldn't say The Grave Escape is a good game. But they're closer than anything else I've done. The 72-hour jams, it really only comes together the last 24 hours. Yeah, and in the 48-hour jams, you don't have the last 24 hours. You just do the first 48 and you're done. So yeah, it's tough. Jacob, that weekend is Mother's Day, father-in-law B-Day, and family friends kids B-Day. Oh yeah, it's a busy weekend. Yeah, the Mother's Day thing is an oversight from the scheduling standpoint, but well, I'll make it up to my mom. Maybe I will make a Mother's Day game. I guess I have to do work. I have to do some work today. I don't really want to. Theme should be mom. That'd be pretty good. Moms would be a good theme. I feel like there's room for problems there, but it'd be funny. Sorry, mom. Yeah, that's what we'll title our jam game. Yeah, so I don't think I can work on the capsule art today. I still need some feedback on some issues. I know there's some definite issues. The composition is still bad. It's better, but it's still like not perfect. And we need to understand how we're going to handle the different capsule proportions. I think I want to mess around with the screenshots. I think I want to start blocking out some screenshots. Some screenshot framings. So screenshot 1 doesn't make a lot of sense. It says capsule-like with an exterior cutaway. We'll say something like zoomed out full view. We don't need to say zoomed out. We could say full view, full ship view with exterior cutaway. I think that's what we'll talk about. That's what we'll do. So screenshot 1 will be like the full ship view with exterior cutaway. Screenshot 2 could just literally be screenshot 1, but in desktop companion mode. Screenshot 3, I would like to be the galactic trade and navigation menu, so you can see like, hey, I can do stuff. I can like decide where I'm going and like what I'm gonna sell or buy or whatever. Screenshot 4, I think, should dig into actually moving things around the cargo hold, like player and maybe like a cargo loader robot or something, moving things around the cargo hold. Basically working around the ship, like stuff actually happening. And then screenshot 5 could be something that shows like the customization or unlock menu for like unlocking, to just try to show the breadth of characterizations and ships and decor and everything. We're trying to communicate what the game is like in a set of screenshots, which is challenging, but an interesting challenge. So I think the initial thing is to actually settle on what the ship layout's going to be like. That's what I want to do. So we'll just work on this layout. Make a new file. We'll do 640 by 360, which is the viewport size. But I don't want to use the whole viewport. It is important to me that we do not use the whole viewport. I probably want to use like half the viewport for the ship. And then have the rest of the viewport be background elements and like room for some UI stuff. We've been using Zenit 241, so we'll continue to use Zenit 241 as our palette. We'll clear to black. So what I want to do is I want to set up a grid. And I want the width of the grid to be half of this. So I want it to be like 320 by 180. But I want it to be offset. It be offset by half. So offset it by 160 and 90. Something like this. So I would like to confine the ship to like this section. Ish. Confine it to like this area. And I think I already have a file that I've been messing around with in terms of the layouts. We could probably keep using this file. Oh, excuse me. I don't remember where my file is. Here it is. It's under lo-fi. Lo-fi, flyby, layout. So this was the original layout file, which is too big. This is like huge. This would be like the most advanced ship would be something like this with this like enormous cargo bay and like a separate like airlock area. It would also be like fairly large. We're mocking this stuff up. There's also, so what I really want is like, I want something, I want like a sketch. I like my ladder and catwalk designs. I want like a living area, like elevated up and forward. And then what I also want is like maybe a bit of a hallway. So maybe we move this even farther forward and or up. And we have like a hallway that can branch off into a couple different directions or something. And maybe we can have like airlocks or I don't know, put an engine room somewhere. But I want this belly. I want this big cargo hold in the belly of the ship. So let's block this out a little bit. I thought I had a smaller version of this that I had been working on. I'm getting feedback that the silver logo is too close to the platinum logo. Thinking about making the platinum logo a slightly blue color. I don't know. I think it's okay, actually. But I get it. I get the complaint. It's a subtle difference. All right, lo-fi layout small. Here we go. So I think this is kind of wrong. Arneo, have you suggested the control room was below the cargo hold already? You like the sort of turtle look it creates? You know, for the smallest ship, that might be okay. For the smallest ship, that might be alright, actually. I just like the ladder. Well, we can look at a couple of different ideas. We'll do them in a way that we can rearrange them. I just want to be... I want to observe... So, like, here's our full viewport for the whole game, right? So we want to reserve some areas. Not just for UI, which I think our UI will kind of float. I would like a kind of Ropica style, like, semi-floating UI. For when we're in desktop companion mode. But I guess if we're not in desktop companion mode, we'd want to lock the UI elements. So we want to leave some space. But it's like, if we take up the whole thing with the smallest ship that you get, then there's really no way to grow. So I want something small to start with. I want to just take up the inner space. And then we can expand, oh, excuse me, to a bigger ship. I think we'll have like cargo hold, the cargo hold sketch or something like that. And so the cargo hold, maybe we don't do a sketch. So from a grid standpoint, I want a cargo hold that's maybe 9 by 9. I don't know. That seems big. That seems like maxed out. The 9 by 9. So maybe we start on the smaller ship with a smaller cargo hold, like maybe a 7 by 7 or something. Having this be scalable is kind of a challenge. My sketch looks just worse in every way. How'd that happen? I probably downsized it. Yeah, I did. So yeah, we could do the ship above like what I suggested. We could try to do something where it's like in front and you just walk through a hallway to get there. I kind of like taking advantage of the verticality because you think about the space that we have available. Make a new layer here. Call this like a block legend or something like that. That'll be somewhere I can put my little blocks, my little block pieces. Is it the right color? Probably not. Maybe it is. Why am I doing it like this? I have this problem where I like can't freehand sketch, so I like don't do it. I acknowledge it's a problem. Man, you know what the big tragedy for me with our little crosstown traffic? I really like the setting. I really like the art. I feel like I'm getting a hang of isometric pixel art. Maybe I'll show where we left off. Just for my own processing of the grief. For my own acceptance of the game that wasn't. But I had my traffic little lights working. They would change. You could control them. They'd change the lights and everything, you know. I love my little isometric trucks. They'd come in and they'd do stuff. You'll immediately see problems that I just gave up on. Where I have this traffic network, nobody can make a turn. Nobody has figured out how to do anything except make a right turn. But man, there was something fun here, and I just couldn't get there. Yeah, like everyone's getting stuck in these corners. I definitely didn't have time to do any level design. But yeah, they're coming in, they're going off. I love my little isometric truck. I learned a lot about isometric art. But yeah, everyone's getting stuck in these corners, and I don't know why. I questioned the way I decided to model the traffic flow. I messed up. I messed that up pretty bad. I should have done something. I tried to do something like a flow field, but I didn't quite get there. I shouldn't have done the broken up the lanes this way. I should have kept it in bigger chunks from the road. Yeah, everyone's just getting stuck. You love the bouncy movement. The movement was good. The isometric perspective was good. I just... Who could have guessed that, you know, traffic simulation's actually a hard problem? I'm sure the City Skylines devs could have told me that. So, yeah. I'm disappointed, but... I'm the one that didn't manage to do it. There's something there. There's something there that was fun. You know, I'm really glad we didn't end up trying to make our bowling roguelike deck builder game. Because that would have been really good, and I definitely wouldn't have been able to do that in 48 hours, and I would have been even more upset. All right, here's our block. I'll pick a block color. Yeah, there was something there. There was something. I don't know what, but it was there, and it was something. Maybe I don't like these colors. There we go. It's a little better. Maybe a little too dark. I want to make blocks of a few different sizes so I can just grab them. Yeah, Godot is so good at doing like bouncy pixelated movement. I love doing isometric games. I just haven't ever done one successfully, really. I mean, Bare Necessities is cute, but I would argue it's not really a game. Same thing with Build a Bonsai. I would love to make some isometric pixel art games. But to do that, I'd have to not crash out. We're gonna make blocks of varying sizes. Just as a convenience thing. One of these days I'll do a Ludum Dare that I don't crash out. One of these days I'll be able to do the October Ludum Dare. It sucks because I can usually only do one of them a year. I think if I had multiple shots in a given year to do it, I would have a higher success rate. All right, so 3 blocks is about as tall as you need for a character. So if we grab like our Ripley. We grab Ripley and we put her here. This is like more than tall enough, but it gives you headroom. I feel like if this was a 2-block tall thing, she'd be like crouching or something. But 3 blocks is like a comfortable height. Honestly, even 2 blocks I think kind of works until they get like right up here and you're like, wow, there is no margin for error here. And she's even kind of short, I think. Actually, no, maybe she takes up the whole space. Yeah, she does with her hair. If she didn't have hair, if she was one of my baldies, one of my little bald, little fascist duders, my little space duders, different isometric hard. It's all we can do. That's all I want to do is isometric. I know this is dimetric, but I love making isometric stuff. I loved making that little truck. It was such an interesting challenge to make the little truck. And he doesn't look great when he's just sitting here, but in motion, it was so fun to make this little truck. It's hard to make a little truck this small, but I enjoyed making this little guy. Maybe we can memorialize this project with like an emote. Maybe it deserves that. Do a little bouncy emote. Do something with the wheels. I don't know. I need time. I need time to process what happened. A little truck and emote would be pretty good, though. I'll see how I feel about that. Yeah, that scale, it's crazy. It really is. Working at this scale is so challenging, but I like it. It makes the art a really interesting problem. And the way I approach that, where'd he go? There it is. The way I approach this is you have to figure out what the rules of the perspective are. And then you just have to follow those rules. And like, that sounds easy, right? But it's interesting what the rules of an isometric view is. It's interesting. It's interesting to try to work out the rules. And then occasionally you need to break the rules because the rules look weird. And that's even more interesting when you have to break the rule. Man, I like making this little guy. More mediums of transports to emote. I know, that's kind of our thing, isn't it? We'll probably have a Jonesy emote eventually, but I want to animate it. I'd want it to be animated. Nanigans, you would say you have a tendency to build things that are borderline cozy game and creative tool. Yeah, but I'm trying to, I need to tilt it into the cozy game category. And out of the creative tool. Which I've been trying to do. If anything, I've been backsliding on that. Because, like, I would argue Bare Necessities is close to cozy game. Grave Escape is full-on cozy game. It's a bit frantic, but it's still cozy. And then, whatever it's called, whatever stupid name... Bonsai, build a bonsai. That's just creative tool. That's not even a game. So yeah, I waffle. I waffle on that. I would like to get better at that. All right, I feel like this is all I need, and I'm gonna get rid of the boundaries here, maybe. Just so I have some pre-made blocks that I can just plug in and use. I might make a couple more. Oh, you know what movie I watched over the weekend? Did I watch it yesterday? No, it couldn't have been yesterday. I think I watched it Sunday after I crashed out. I was like having dinner and I wanted a movie to watch. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was like Thursday or something. I don't know. I watched it either before or after Ludum Dare, but I feel like it was after. I watched Dark Star, the 1974 film by John Carpenter. It's good. People don't regard it as good, but for an early sci-fi film, it is awesome. For a John Carpenter movie, it's pretty tame. But yeah, everyone should go watch. Everyone who likes campy sci-fi should go watch Dark Star. It's pretty incredible what they were able to do in 1974. And maybe it seems cliche nowadays, but you have to think about when it was made, which was 1974. That's before Star Wars and after 2001. But yeah, Dark Star is good. It's so funny. It's kind of trying to be funny, but it's like it plays it serious, you know? Like Doctor Strangelove or something. Like totally zany and ridiculous, but they play it dead straight, the whole thing. It has a feel of like a student film to it, but I don't think that's anyone's fault. I think that's just like a part of the age of the film. I'm gonna make one more of these. If it seems like I'm stalling, it's only because I'm stalling. I'm just making some building blocks to make my life a little easier as we build out this ship. So I'm not having to do this. I'm not having to count my beans all the time, you know? I like this color. I like this slightly blue-gray. Probably the hull color we'll use. A little sterile, a little cool. Got some extra tones that I'm not using I could use. I could do this quicker. I could do this quicker. Hey, Brainoid. How was the LD experience? It was rough. I crashed out about 2 a.m. on Sunday morning. I looked at how much I had left to do, and there was no way I was going to get it done during compo. And one of these days, I'll actually ask for Monday off so I can like fall back and do a jam instead when that happens. But no, I didn't do it, so we just bailed. How did you go? I think you survived. I'd heard that you had survived. If barely. How was your experience? Lo-fi, flyby, screenshot. All right, let's figure out. Let's block out this cargo bay. Survive is a big word, but yeah, wasn't supposed to be this exhausting. Like doing a no comms. Pass the game challenge. Oof. Your work blocks were awful, like 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. Yeah. I'm very willing to do an all-nighter normally if it feels like if it feels like I could achieve my goal by doing it, but it became very clear at like 2 a.m. that even if I worked straight through until the 6 p.m. deadline, I wasn't going to have it. I misjudged how complex the mechanics of the thing I was trying to do were. I thought we'd scoped pretty well. And I know you can adjust the scope of a game while you're going. Obviously, that's a lot of the push and pull of doing a jam game. But I do feel like an idea has like an inherent scope to it to do it well. And I misjudged the inherent scope of the thing I was trying to do. And I even tried to start cutting things back, and I was like, this isn't going to happen. So, rip. Second time I've crashed out of the compo. I've only completed the compo once. If I hadn't never done it before, I would have sworn it was impossible. But I've only succeeded in entering the compo once. It's crazy. And I usually can't do the October one, so I guess it's better luck next year, you know. People are not available. You tried to fill in the empty slots, messed up your sleep schedule. Oh yeah. Hey, Boolean. Thought you lost your streak. How was the jam? It was a little rough. We crashed out around 2 a.m. on Sunday morning. It was pretty clear we weren't going to be able to finish. And I don't take Monday off work for this, so I couldn't convert it to a jam entry. It had to be compo or nothing, and so it was nothing. But it was cool. It's always a good experience, even when it's a bad experience, you know? You know? Why did I do these two first? I'm dumb. Now we're just blocking out some stuff for the space game. Blocking out a cargo hold, seeing if this will be adequate. It's smaller than I would like. But I think for the initial ship, it's important to scale things down a little bit. I would like to do a bigger cargo bay. But we're gonna try to be good and do something small. I'm just a little concerned about the cargo bay door. So there's only certain sizes I can do for the cargo bay door. There's a lot of questions around. Actually, here's a good question. Is there going to be a center tile to the cargo hold? I'm going to have a hard time supporting doors that are bigger than 3x3. But this initial door should probably be a 2x2, which means there won't be. So there's some questions I have around movement on this grid. And it's like, if it's a 2x2, no, we can make this work. We can make this work. We just won't let you carry a load that's 2 blocks wide. I would like eventually for you to have these big old 3-block wide cargo doors and have like a forklift that you can drive around and like move bigger things. But we'll do that in a later ship. So let's make this 8 instead of 7. Just loop one of these on here. I messed it up somehow. Where did I mess it up? Way back here. How did I mess this up that badly? Learn anything useful? Yeah, I learned a lot about isometric pixel art, which is good. That's always what I like. You know, along with my limits. Brainoid, you feel like in combo, you need an idea right at the start, no time for brainstorming? We had that. We spent less than an hour brainstorming. I had an idea and I went with it. And it was a good idea. It was traffic signals. I'm not going to show what I had again. It's cute, but it obviously falls apart as soon as you start looking at it. Oh, you know what's gonna be a problem? If I do it this way... How are you gonna get here? If I don't make it an odd number, we have a bit of an issue. Yeah, maybe it should be an odd number. Shenanigans, you can't pull all-nighters the same as you used to. If you were really zoned in and pumped on adrenaline, you could probably do it, but otherwise you think your limit is 4 a.m. now. I actually surprisingly don't have a hard time with that part in the moment. It's one of those things where it's like getting through the all-nighter for me is actually very easy. I pay for it later. And yeah, I was already so tired with work and everything. I went into Ludum Dare way too tired and burnt out from my regular work to be able to do that kind of stuff. That's okay. Like I said, we got Solo Dev Jam coming up, and I take Solo Dev Jam very seriously. So I'm looking forward to that. And that one's 72 hours. That one we get to use. We're allowed to use art assets and sound assets, sound packs and stuff. So it'll be a lot better. We'll have a better time for sure. Do I want to leave the floor grids? Probably for right now. Probably for right now. How tall do we want to make the cargo bay? So it's going to probably be a triple door. Probably 3x2. 3x2 or 3x3? Probably 3x3 even. Here's the problem. We have all these old doors. The old doors aren't in the new... They're not in the new block size. So I have to approximate the size of this door. Let me go find this. Showing all my silly Google Drive screenshots. May 8th, you think? Yeah, it is. May 8th or May 11th. 3 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, for that one, we're definitely taking Monday off work. Why am I in my downloads? What am I doing here? Yeah, I love Solo Dev Jam. It's the only time I actually make a game that's like any fun. And it's because I don't have to spend any time making assets. So I get to spend the whole time figuring out the mechanics and the gameplay and like working on integration. I enjoy that a lot. I have this pathological problem which kind of forces me to do all my own stuff for my main games. But in a game jam, I don't mind the idea that I can just use pre-made art assets and stuff. I do like producing my own art. I enjoy my art. I enjoy making art. But if I'm trying to make a game in 3 days, it certainly helps to not have to worry about that, especially sound. My workflow, I'm getting pretty good at making art, but my workflow for sound stuff is not good. I know you're good at that stuff, Bully, and I see you working on sound stuff a lot, I think. Music and things. I have not worked out a process for that. I had an idea for the jam. I wish I did it. Wish I'd had time. Man, if I'd had 72 hours to make crosstown traffic, I think I could have done it, and I think it would have been fun. But it's okay. It's okay. Everyone has a graveyard of games that they were going to make and then didn't. All right, let's open our doors. Let's look at our triple door. So here's the triple door. So this is old. This is 3 blocks wide, but how tall is it? That's the question that I need to answer. So this is our old triple door. I kind of like it. I think I would do it differently this time if I were to do it again. Maybe this is too big for the first ship. I don't know. I realize I'm going to have a conundrum when I'm switching between double wide and single wide doors, depending on how I want people to cross through them. So if we open like our double door, which I think is better than the triple door. So I like the double door. Did I redraw the doors recently? I feel like I'd started working on it. I don't remember. You're trying to get back into it after many years of not doing anything with it? Music? You're currently just trying to find a DAW that you're comfortable with and doesn't cost 800 bucks. I have been getting told about Cubase. As an option. I don't know how cheap it is, but people have been recommending it to me as someone who doesn't have Pro Tools or Ableton. But I'm sure it's expensive. Let me look. It's a lot more affordable than Ableton. Or Pro Tools, it looks like. So I don't know. I'm kind of tempted to give it a try. I'm not sure. I need to do a lot more research. But yeah, it looks a lot more affordable than what I've seen for like Ableton 12 or whatever. But if you're still just having to spend extra money on packs, on like sound packs and stuff, then like maybe are you really... The crazy thing about Ableton is they're like rent to own Ableton Live 12. Rent to own. Crazy. $30 a month for 24 months. What is that? 300, 600,000. So yeah, Cubase is cheaper, but I don't know if it's that much cheaper. It's like half as much. But it's still like I don't have a lot of samples. I don't have a lot of sounds. It's like I'm gonna have to record most of my own sounds. And most of my own samples, unless I scrounge. Used Ableton way back when. It's really good, but it's so much. Yeah. And all the people I know that are professional musicians just use Pro Tools, so they don't understand my struggle. They're just like, well, just pay for Pro Tools. And, you know, your own private music studio. And I'm like, thanks. I don't know. I have to think about it. I have a really specific use case that's like a mix of digital and analog stuff, and I'm not sure how to do it. Especially for lo-fi flyby, I want something that's a lot more dynamic because it's an ambient game. So I want a very dynamic soundscape, which means I'm probably not actually going to do much composition. Like, I'm probably not going to do as much static composition as I would try to really finagle things around with, like, Fmod or something, which is tough because Fmod doesn't really integrate with Godot very directly, my understanding is. So it's complicated, right? It's complicated. But yeah, I kind of want a smaller cargo bay door to start with. But how tall are these doors? So if we do a triple door, which is like the biggest door that I have, which I need to redraw. Thought I'd redrawn the single door. Actually, I probably didn't, did I? I probably started it and then I didn't finish. You've been hearing good things about Bitwig. Bitwig. Oh, I have a link for Bitwig. Apparently, I've looked up Bitwig before. I didn't even remember. Yeah, there's so many choices. I'm like overwhelmed. Deeply overwhelmed. I was talking to somebody about different DAWs and like trying to choose a good one. They straight up said to me, they said something like, well, you could get a pretty good initial result if you just use AI. And I'm like, I'm unsubscribing from this conversation. I don't remember where I put the door. Hold the door. I don't remember where I put this door file. Here it is. So I've been rebuilding the door. Oh, did I actually finish it? Kinda. I didn't light it. So here's the door with the correct thickness. It is thick. Don't worry about the triple thick line work. It makes sense. Although it probably shouldn't be here on frame 1. Oh, maybe it has to be. Yeah, it's a little weird when it just jumps like that. Still. So how many blocks tall is this door? I have to light the inside of the door. I haven't redone that part. That's like a key part of making these look good. Having that little shadow creep across as the door opens. How tall is this thing? Ah, I did an outline. Okay, so it's 3 blocks tall. Okay. So yeah, actually the biggest size door I can support right now is 3x3. So I have some concerns about just using that immediately, but maybe I should do it in case like the player's like, well, I want my cargo forklift now before I upgrade ships. Even though the ship is really too small to make use of it, maybe I should just allow it. Maybe you want a few constants, like things like the size of the cargo bay door. Maybe that's not something you actually want to change. I'm gonna make the cargo door a different layer. I'm gonna make all of these different layers. Cargo floor. Cargo door, cargo floor. I guess the cargo walls are probably... Oh, I know, I need multiple... I hate this. Okay, we'll do the door on a separate layer. Well, no, I can't do that either. Whatever. Hey, Rhiannon. Never heard about it until recently. Hey, Magoo. Yeah, thank you for the sub. I saw that before I started. Thank you. Sorry, I missed your chat just now. Half the cost of Ableton. Yeah, Cubase also looks like kind of the half the cost of Ableton, or approximately. Maybe 2/3. So yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of mid-range choices and no good ideas. No strong ideas about it. Hey, Chris Knife. Once you pick a DAW, well, you let you know what... Okay, great. Later this year, you plan on hiring a musician who is looking for a DAW recommendation. Okay, so you want to take advantage of that about my work. I'm going to tell you straight up. This is probably a hard thing to hear. Do not hire an artist. Do not hire a musician for your game who doesn't have their own DAW figured out yet. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Just wait. Wait until they figured out their process. Give them time. Do not pay someone who doesn't have a workflow. Do not pay someone who hasn't figured out how to do the thing that you're paying them for. Just like due diligence. All right, let's put these walls in place. Okay, so we're going to do this with the cutaway. That's an important qualification of what we're doing. How we're organizing this. So what changed between the old single door and the new single door? Because I don't understand why that had to change, but it did. It definitively had to change. And why? Why did it have to change? Something about the different block size. Or it was the block height. I love this version of the door, but we couldn't use it anymore. For one thing, it wasn't the right thickness of a whole block, and for another, it was the wrong height. So we had to switch to this. Will that affect... So how tall is this door? $24 pixels tall. How tall was the old door? Was it 25? Of course, it was 25. Cool. So yeah, that will mess everything up. That will probably mess up this whole line work. I do like the new arrows. I think the new arrows are better. Someone's gonna get like crushed to death in one of these doors. The OSHA violation just waiting to happen. Sounds like good advice to you, Rhiannon. Artists should know their tools or be given a discount for you paying them while they learn it. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure they're a fine artist, but it's like, maybe they're an analog musician that hasn't figured out a digital process, but it's still like... You gotta be careful when you're an indie. All right, I think we're going to make the new version of the triple door. That's what I'm gonna do now. How big is this file gotta be? So it has to be this, so 32 plus another 32. And then it also needs to be taller by 8. So it needs to be 16 pixels taller and 32 pixels wider. So we're talking about 64 by 48. Okay. Also, this is in my old palette. That's okay. I do like my palette. Let it not be said that I don't kind of like my palette, but I also kind of hate it. You know? I like having gradient or ramps that are this long. It's unusual to have a 9-color ramp or a 9-shade ramp, and I like it. I actually use it. I use like the whole buffalo more often than not. All right, let's focus on the triple door. I kind of want to structure it more like the double door, where it has these little... I really like these little door butts. I don't know what to call them. They're like little door butts. They're like little nubs at the end of the door. I really like these. So I want to include those. The current version of the triple door does not have that. It just didn't happen. And so I would like to redo that. How big is this? 64 by 48. Oh, 56 by 38. That's a weird size. Okay. New file. 64. 48. Load my palette. We'll load Zenith 241, my go-to palette for Lo-Fi Flyby. As I go to just the wrong folders. Zenith 241. I might pick a different palette, but for now, I've been quite pleased with Zenith. I think for the vibe that lo-fi has, I think it's a really nice set of colors. There's lots of cool space colors. There's like 4 different kinds of like violet or magenta or purple. I don't know why that's so helpful, but it seems like space. You pick a lot of weird pinkish colors when you're in space. Pinks and greens and blues. It's a very cool palette. Like literally. Which I think is good for space. But it's still comfy. It's a very good palette. I'm very pleased with it. What are we gonna call this? Block outline or something like that? Or door outline? I don't know what I called this. Single door. I called it the door outline. That's a little weird. More of a block outline, but okay. Alright, so we're gonna do the same thing here. We're gonna outline this door. I guess we might as well just take this and start with this. The door butt is the technical term from here on out. Yeah. Arneo, your palette has so many colors, though. You prefer to have less choices. Yeah, well, that was the only approach for me for when I started. Because I was like, well, I'm just going to need more colors. I agree with you. I like less colors. I like having less colors. Like, when I do a jam, like, I didn't even get to the point of getting to pick my color palettes for Ludum Dare. I'd done just the basic art, but when I pick a color palette, I like picking like I really like. It's tempting to go for like a Resurrect 64 or something, or even like Indesga 32. But I prefer Apollo is a nice number of colors. It's just like, but it's like 46 colors. It has that really nice good gray ramp, which is really good. So I'd be tempted to like go with something like Apollo if you needed a lot of versatility while still having a simple color set. But yeah, I really love when I see something like, yeah, like this CC29, only 29 colors. I really like if I can do something like this SLS08 with just 8 colors. I've done this a few times where I picked just like the most minimal color palette possible. It gives you such a strong visual identity. And you can do incredible work with just a handful of colors. You have to be really good, and I'm not that great. Oh, look at that black hole. That, over there, now that is a rendering of Event Horizon. That is good. That is good stuff right there. Oh, I like their weird gas cloud drawings, too. I need to get better at drawing some of that little background stuff. I really like this though. That's really good. But yeah, I love minimal color palettes. I think we used palette 31. I think this is the palette we used for something. I think we used this for Build a Bonsai. We used 31. I think Bare Necessities was like 12 colors. I don't remember which 12 colors, but it was like 12 colors. Yeah, Midnight Blaze is another sick one. I don't know why I'm doing this. Again, I'm stalling. I'm stalling because I don't actually feel like working. But this is how you do it. Oh yeah, Tetra Mineral Company was going to be using the Rust Gold palette, which is just 8 colors. I want to come back to this palette. I really like this palette. Someday we're going to do some kind of mining game. I almost guarantee you that someday we're going to do some kind of mining game, and we'll probably come back to this. I'm just trying to find the, I guess I can just look it up. I have it still. What's the color I used for Bare Necessities or the palette? Grave Escape looks good in black and white. It would look good in that SO8 too. Oh yeah, that would have been hard to do though, because that's 3D. Oh yeah, Homie Honey 12. That's what we used, because that was like too funny. But that's what we used for bare necessity. Homie Honey 12. So good. Look at this, just so simple. It's so simple. It's like, here's the dark green, mid green, light green, and then everything else you have like a very set number. The way the brown ramps into the yellow, ramps into the orange, and then the red. You got a couple of blue tones. Like, it's such a minimal set, but you have these pairs or almost like triplets of colors that really work together. I think I added black color. But yeah, I love a minimal color palette. I'm not good at making a minimal color palette. I don't know how to make colors, which is a silly thing to say, but like, yeah, my palette is so enormous. And I tried to do some hue shifting. You know, I tried to be clever. Like, I do like my red to yellow ramp, but it's like I only have light yellows and I only have dark reds because I did this intense hue shift. And like, that's cool, but like, I don't know. I'm struggling with the color design stuff. This color ended up being gross. This attempt at like a skin tone palette ramp. I do like this almost electric purple though. I do enjoy that one. But yeah, colors are hard. Colors are really hard. All right, I'll pretend to work. I'll pretend to go back to work here. Yeah, I'm excited to try to make another like Grave Escape style game or something. Very excited. Oops. Alright, here's the block outline for our triple door. Why did I make this so much taller than it needed to be? There's an awkward amount of space left. I could take 8. We could make it 40 pixels tall. Let's do that. 40. Nanigans, you make colors by shining white light into a prism. Then you can split it into smaller prisms or use various filters to get specific colors. Hope that helps. Uh-huh. Very helpful. Thank you, Nanigans. If you were on Twitch, I would have timed you out. But you're safe. You're safe over on YouTube. All right. So we're going to make this triple door. I guess I'll put it back into the main project here. I really need to do some spring cleaning and just delete a whole bunch of stuff. Door, triple. Let's see what we can do. So this won't work, and I don't like this. I want it chunkier. I want it to cut off like here maybe or something. We want that door butt back. The technical term. The hard part, though, is these blocks are a different size now, so I want it to look more like the double door while being a triple door. I want it to look like this while being technically this. Let's see how we get there. So I'm gonna have this one lower door section. Oh, I know why I did this. It's for the cutaway. I was like, why did I do it this way? It's because of the cutaway. That's why. That's why we have this weird outline. It's so that the door still looks correct when it's being cut away, if it's being partly cut away. Which is fair. And the consequences, it just has this weird seam. And that's okay. I can live with that. I can live with that. It'll be a little shorthand for knowing there's a door there, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? All right. So let's start. So we want... What order do these go in? The upper door is ironically on the bottom. What did I color I pick? I picked this color. All right, I'm just going to do the lower part and the upper part, and then we're going to figure out where they meet in the middle. So I'm going to figure this out. So this one is 2, and then they meet. This one is probably going to be more like 3 or 4. You know, maybe this first section is going to maybe be just a solid piece of door. And then they have a middle chunk that, like, separates. Although there does, is there an odd number of things here? 1, 2. No, I just can't count. So it would be like the first 4, and then in the second 4, that's where all the interesting stuff is going to happen. That's probably how it's going to look. So let's set that up. Oh, I need a middle door too, huh? New middle door. Because these are going to be separated out and drawn on... Are they going to be drawn as different pieces on different things? Doesn't make a lot of sense to do it that way. No, I think we'll still do it as 2 pieces. I think we'll do it as 2 pieces. Because there's only 2 sorting points for a door that opens into 2 pieces. There's just 2 sorting points. You either sort against the foreground door or the rear or the background door. So that, you know, you can appear behind the foreground door, but in front of the background door. So if there's only 2 sort points, then we will only make 2 door pieces. Now, if we have a door that opens into like 4 pieces, or maybe that separates out into like, I want to make a floor hatch. I haven't made a floor hatch, but we need to make a floor hatch. Apropos of nothing. Apropos of floor hatch. We just need to do that at some point. It's on my list of things that we need to do relatively soon. I'm on the wrong layer, I think. Yeah. Okay, now I'm on the right layer. Wrong layer Dave strikes again. What's everyone gonna have for lunch? I think I'm gonna go get a banh on me for lunch. I gotta go to the grocery store. It was raining yesterday, so I didn't end up going to the grocery store. I gotta go today. I love the rain. Like, I don't technically wish it could rain all the time, but I also kind of wish it could rain all the time. Love listening to it. Alright, we're gonna mix this up. At the moment, I'm just gonna divide this into 2 pieces. I'll figure it out. Rhiannon, for lunch you had some SpaghettiOs and Ritz crackers and a Red Bull. That almost sounds like a cry for help, Rhiannon. Sounds like it could be tasty, though. We're going to start by just splitting this piece in 2, which is not correct, but it's a start. Oh, wait, we don't do that anymore. Why are these desynced? Oh, because I'm dumb. You read about the ancient Greeks who could like start carving like channels on like 2 opposite sides of a mountain and start like drilling towards each other. And by the end, they have a differential of like less than like a few inches. And I'm over here and I can't even draw lines from 2 ends of the same sprite sheet. They're over here carving channels into mountains. With with like dead reckoning, and they're able to pull it off. The Greeks were such chads, huh? Okay, now I don't know what's happening anymore. What? Okay, I messed everything up. How is this so wrong? Oh. I see. I see. I forgot about the double vertical outline. I'm also on the wrong layer again. I see what's happened. There we go. All right. All right. Correcting for the problem here. Not sure what you're making for dinner. You got groceries today, so you'll actually cook something? Yeah, that's what I gotta do. Is I gotta go get some groceries and do my meal prepping for the next few days. I don't know what I'm gonna cook either. Oh my god. Will he ever not be drawing on the wrong layer? This is why it's better to just have one layer, you know? Because then you can't ever be drawing on the wrong layer if there's only one layer. Nanigans, you just made yourself a deli sandwich on a toasted bagel. A couple types of meat, cheese, honey mustard, lettuce, seasoning. Oh, that's the good stuff. That's the good stuff. That's the sort of thing I don't eat it fast enough to have that stuff at home. That's the only thing I'll have if I'm like hanging out with my parents or something, because they'll just have like a fridge full of deli meats and different things. But like, If I try to do that at my house, you know, for my living, I never go through it fast enough and it goes bad. All right. So somehow we managed to get 3 blocks or 9 blocks altogether. Now we got to figure out the cut of the jib here. We got to figure out like what cool door cut. We want the door butts. So we want this slight straight section of the door at the end. So we want it to go down, across, and then down again. That's what we like a good door here. We like it to go down, across, and then down again. And the last version of the triple door, which we had to redo anyway, does not have that. And I think it was because it was the only way I was able to get a decent line across. But now we have a different height. Since we've changed the size of the blocks, the doors are shorter. So now we're going to have to make a new line anyway. So I think we'll be able to figure something out. Nanigans, you're going to make some chili over mashed potatoes for supper. Got to use potatoes that are starting to rot. You said root, but I assume you mean rot. Oh, no, they're probably starting to root. You're probably right. I was like, was that a misspelling? But no, I get what they're sprouting. Your potatoes are sprouting. Yeah, that's funny. You just skip lunch altogether most days. Hey, K-Cug, what's up? How's it going? We're trying to get some work done. We're working very slowly today. Yeah, I also mostly skip lunch. I'll have like an apple. But I think because I have to cook and clean and everything, dinner's gonna be kind of late, so I'll probably try to make something. Or I'll probably try to have lunch, like I said, like a banh mi or something. All right, so I kind of want to draw the line here. Actually, I should probably draw the line here. Where do we put the symbols on the door? Okay, like that. I actually don't know where I want to put the line. Let's put it here. Let's try here. So if we were to divide the door here... Oh, it's going to be on both, isn't it? So one line might be here. One line might be here. And then we need to figure out where from we can draw a line that's like not terrible. So this doesn't work because this doesn't repeat. Right? So we need to find a line that repeats. That's not terrible. So it's probably can't be that because that's 4 here. That's 6. Oh, that's 6 here. Maybe this can. Maybe we could just do this. If we could just do this, that'd be great. That'd be easy. Although, no, we can't because it doesn't really work. Oh, maybe it does. This is 5 on the top. Oh no, yeah, see this doesn't work. Dang. So I want to do something like this because I would like to have Arneo, you ate cheap today with store-bought meatballs, rice, and mushrooms. Nice, nice. You eat mushrooms like 4 times a week. Oh yeah, we eat mushrooms all the time. Culinary mushrooms you don't like. Other kinds are fun. So when you say you don't like culinary mushrooms, but you like other kinds of mushrooms, we're talking about like magic mushrooms, like... Mushrooms are certainly versatile. They can keep you alive, make life more fun, or stop other people from living. Yeah, mushrooms are crazy. All right, where's some points we can draw some lines? Hey, this one's okay. I don't know if it's great, but it's okay. Oh, but no, it won't work again. Dang. So it should be a double line, a double wall like this. Should do something like this. It might not be able to be from here. We might need to pull back. I guess what I should do is maybe I should pick the line first. And then figure out where it can go. I mean, we could do one of these single, double, double, single, double, double kind of things. But, so this has a double wide. I would kind of like it to be something like this. With one of these arrows on the inside. So I'd kind of like it to be a 3 down, like that. So this is too many. Well, this is maybe right. So where's our yellow? Yeah, okay. Thanks for clarifying. Okay, so I want to set it like this. So I want like the arrow to be like there. And then here we'd do the same. We'd do something like... Well, how do we do that? How do we manage to make that happen? Oh, we do it like this. Like that. I like the little door opening arrows. I like those. So would something like this work? Oh, probably need a line tool. That almost works. It's not quite though. So should we maybe do a straighter pattern? Do something like here to here. Oh yeah, that might be it. That might be it. It might be too hard to do something so extreme. It might be easier to just do something like this. Oh, that was the wrong side. Can we do this? This is 4 up here and only 2 down here. So if we move this up by 1 though, will this work? I think we found it. This will allow us the little door butt shape, and then a nice smooth gradient. And it's exactly like the single door. It actually might be literally the same as the single door, which I guess is fine. Hey, Bartlane. Boxes, looking boxy. Yeah, we're working on some doors. We're having to redo some of our doors. So we'd probably put the arrows like here or something. Or no, it would go like this, maybe? No, it would go like this. On that side. We'd have the same thing here. Oh, this has a side effect, which is not great, but we'll survive it. Which is these empty pixels in the middle, which I think is okay. I think we can survive it. I think it will give it a little bit of a chunkier look than the single door. I don't think the single door has these. Oh no, it totally does. Totally does. Totally fine. I would love to have that consistency between the different sizes of the doors. Well, for one, because it makes it easier for me to draw. Because then I could just literally copy this part. At least for the initial set of doors. Like, obviously we'll make some more doors. Nanigans, you're messing around trying to make some cobblestone walls in Magica Voxel right now. Yeah, the door butt is really important, Bartlane. The little door butt here. And down here. The little, like, flat section that, like, connects to the other part of the door. You need your doors to be able to touch butts. But yeah, you're messing around with cobblestone walls, Nanigans, in Magica Voxel. Torn on how much depth to give to the stones. Hard to tell what's going to come across in the pixel art. Yeah, that must be really challenging when you're making the 3D part and you're having to envision what your, like, shaders are going to do to it. Yeah, it's tough. One of the things that if you finish to your own tile editor, that'd be much, much easier. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out, Bart Lane. And everyone. On this, a very Bernard, lazy bear kind of day. Yeah, I think this is okay. I think we can make this one work. I'm on the wrong layer for all of this, but, you know, that's not a problem. It's not a problem. We'll just erase this. Do this. Erase. Well, we can leave this part here for a second, maybe. So that I can line it up. All right, let's line this up. So we did make our lives pretty easy here. Although none of these colors are going to copy over. But what we're going to do is we're just going to copy the line work over. We'll copy the line work over and we'll recolor. Enough. That's more than enough. All right, and then this goes here, right? Yeah. And then I just gotta fix the colors. We were picking a yellow, weren't we? This is pretty similar. Ooh, maybe we want the orange. I don't know, actually. Probably the bright yellow. Or maybe the slightly toned down yellow. Slightly muted yellow. Yeah, that sounds good. And then we pick these colors. So that's the highlight, the standard door color, the interior piece. So the interior piece will make this color. This is gonna look weird. But you know what? I'm okay with weird. Zenith is very different. Very different palette to work with here. What's going on here? Oh, this is just part of the door piece. Get rid of that. Oh, and then we need a darker one. We need this one. All right, so the way I previously communicated scale of the door is I actually widened these colors of like the highlight and the low light over the single door. I don't think I actually like that. I think that was a cheap way to try to communicate the scale. I wonder if we can still manage to do the double door. I guess we can't, huh? Can't really do any of our old door patterns. Luckily, this new door pattern totally works. And so we need to grab that actually. Throw this here. Throw this right here. Like this. Wait, why is this off by 1? Or is it? No, it's not. Okay. This definitely has a lot more attitude, this coloration of the door. Which is part of the reason I like Zenith. Zenith has a lot of different grayish kind of like alloy tones. Like we can be like, oh, do you want a slightly purple look? Do you want like a slightly bluish look? Do you want a slightly greenish look? Like I love this. I love having a lot of like less saturated color choices. So like this one's blue, but it doesn't have to be. Maybe the player can recolor their ship. I don't know. Or maybe what we'll do is maybe the different ships will have different color tones. So that part of the, so you can kind of tell when you're in a different ship. I don't know. I don't know. We're just trying stuff. We're having a lazy Tuesday. We're still tired after Ludum Dare. I did take the rest of the weekend to do like basically nothing, so I feel bad telling people that I'm tired. I'm emotionally tired. Ludum Dare, even just attempting Ludum Dare takes a lot out of you, let alone like actually doing it and succeeding. So I don't know if I love this yellow I picked. I think I'm going to tweak this yellow color. Different alloys for the hull could have different colors. Yeah, there could be, and you know, there doesn't have to be a mechanical explanation for it. Oh Lord. Like it doesn't have to mean anything. Yeah, I think I like this. Ooh, a darker one could be nice. And then it could maybe it lights up when it's moving. Maybe we do something like this. Nah. Yeah, we'll keep that. Oh, wait, what happened here? Do I need to do this? Yeah, wait, what did happen here? How does this work? Oh. Like that. I think it's supposed to look like this. Oh, it's a little tricky. How does what is the mechanic of what's happening here? So we have one up from there. Wait a second. Oh no, this is right. I see. They can also turn red during red alert. Ooh, yeah, there's some cool stuff we could do with that for sure. I haven't quite settled on that yet. Oh, also this line piece isn't here. This piece isn't moved. There's definitely some cool stuff. So this is nice. It's simple. Maybe a little too simple. It's convincing though. Like if this is your exterior airlock door, like this looks chunky. It's a little weird that it's the same scale as this door. But they're all the doors in this game are pretty beefy things because a door just takes up a whole block. And it doesn't make sense to me to shorten that because from a visual standpoint, it starts to get kind of weird. So I'm okay having just these like crazy thick doors. plenty of room for a label or something on the big one? Oh, yeah, yeah. So I want to do a version of my font that is in perspective, and we could totally do some kind of markings, or like we could have a big warning that says like exterior EXT lock or something like that, like, or EXT air or something like that. Exterior air lock. I don't know. We could do a big warning. We could do a bunch of stuff. I don't like this yellow though. Yellow like bothers me. I think it's supposed to bother you. It feels like the kind of yellow that's supposed to be bothersome, which is maybe good for like a warning, but I'm gonna maybe switch to like an orange or something. And it could flash or something. Is that better? It's a little better. I still don't love it. I'll just do like this for now. That's too orange. It's all right. All right, well, I don't have to animate this, luckily, because we don't need to animate it. We want to go. I somewhat regret prefixing all of these with lo-fi flyby, because now I don't know what anything is. What we need to do is we need to widen this, though, so I can put floor pieces in. This doesn't seem right. Mess this up a little bit the way I did this. That's fine. We'll do it the easy way. Whoa. So if this is a 7x7 cargo hold, which I think is a good place to start, I'd rather have a 9x9, but we'll save that for a bigger version of the ship, because we're just trying to do the smallest version, which, you know, there's an argument to be made to actually show like the bigger version in the screenshot. But the demo is only going to have probably the small version of the ship anyway, so I say we pick the smallest version of the ship and put as much polish into it as possible. Focus on that, which is part of the reason why we're mocking this up in Sprite rather than trying to like mock it up in my editor tool, because like the idea is we're looking for like a really nice final piece. We're not necessarily trying to like rapidly iterate. That said, this part's kind of annoying. I think I can take this and like expand it, sort of. All right, ads are coming up. Not sure how long I want to go today. I think I want to have time to eat lunch and stuff before I have to go back to work. So this might be a short stream. I say to all, like, you know, 6 of you in chat. Not that I don't, it doesn't matter to me. To me, streaming to just one person is worth it. I'm just still a bit out of it. Hey, Nix. Made it. How are you feeling? All right, here's our 9x9. It's our 9x9, but we're not going to use all of it. So here's the problem. And here's why I think we're going to arrange things the way we're arranging them. This is like the edge of the playable space I wanted to use. We're like at the edge. We're like very much at the edge of what I would consider using. So we'll take our little door. We'll maybe put it in the block legend. So let's take our little door we mocked up. Put it in here. Oh, I guess we need to put both of them in here. We have to do this back to front. The only real question is, do we want... I think we're going to go 4 tall. I know 3 is sufficient. We also need to think about the cutaway, because we're going to be mocking up the cutaway as part of this. Put our thing here. So we need 1. No, 2 more. Hey, Karina2320, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Especially on this such a chill stream. You're doing bad. I'm sorry to hear that, Nix. Hey, you're still around. That's what really counts. True. True. Being around is good. This feels a little weird, but it looks like it fits. Alright, we're just gonna put this door in here, and then I think I'm gonna call it. But this is kind of the activity we're doing right now, is just mocking up these spaces. And I think this will be alright for a cargo hold. It's looking like a TNG cargo hold already. The song is very loud. So I think something like this. We'll get rid of the line work later. There's maybe an argument to be said for doing 1 more layer on top of this, but I'm concerned about our vertical space. I'm not sure about whether we want the blocks on top of the door or we want to see the door, you know? As it opens and closes fully. Actually, it's probably better to have a frame. Probably better to have a frame. But this is what we're going to work on this week, this mock-up. We'll probably get back to working on so here's our cargo. We'll finish lining this with walls, but we're going to need to do the cutaway version, so we'll lay down walls like this. You know, like this. So we'll consider the cutaway, so we'll only lay down the first wall. The hedge wall, as I like to call them, which is just the one piece of block to show you that there is a wall there. But yeah, we'll keep working on this. We'll get back to our capsule art at some point, once I have a better idea of how I want to finish this. Pre-rolls are on. Ads are in a minute. I'm snoozing. We're snoozing the ads. Nannigan's frame looks like it belongs, but would it make sense to have a dedicated block to go on top of the doors that spans the whole length? I mean, I'm just dropping individual blocks. The least I would do would be erase this, right? This would be the bare minimum, would be get rid of this stuff. Whether we do more than that, but we're going to at least get rid of all this line work. I don't know. We'll see. You're gonna go? All right. Yeah, we're going to. Thanks for the hydrate, Nix. I want to thank everyone a lot for watching. I know sometimes these are really slow, low energy streams, but I appreciate everyone hanging out with us. You love the new look? It looks very tactical. That's just because I haven't gotten rid of the grid lines. But yeah, I do want to do something to make it intuitive to see where the grid is. Obviously, we have our selection outlines that we're going to use, but I want something else too. I want something in the art that has maybe more of like a floor plate look, so you can kind of checkerboard the floor plates a little bit texturally. Something like that. Hey, thanks, Smooth, in a second. Little emergency exit light thing on top. Yeah, something could be fun. We'll do something. But yeah, I want to thank you all so much for watching, especially if you hung out with me over the weekend as we attempted Ludum Dare. We failed, but you know, we learned some stuff. We had good fun. It was a good time. We'll be back. We'll always be back. So yeah, speaking of which, I'll be back tomorrow. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.
Maximum off.